So I've had quite a few questions from you about fringes, and although I don't really want you to go out there and cut your fringe, I do understand that it's probably driving you mad. Now I do have a blog on my website, so you can have a look at that, and that describes different types of fringes and how they work and why. But I'll quickly go through it. With fringes, what you're trying to always do is highlight the eyes and the cheekbones. And so the idea of what you do is you work around the face shape, and just kind of the different widths of the fringe will have a different effect on the face shape. Now, if you're trying to open up your eyes and your cheekbones to make the cheekbones look good, you're better doing a slightly wider, almost rounded, and especially now, I think it's much more to do with a rounded shape than it is a really strong block shape. And also what you want is something that's kind of going to be able to be moved around, so you can blow dry it to one side, or if you want to grow it out, you can do that quite easily. So it's much better to do kind of a softer fringe. So looking at my model here, as you can see, her fringe is a little bit on the long side. So what I would suggest you do is not cut it in one foul swoop, but to take a section, find out where your fringe has been already pre-cut to. So that's there, and pop in a clip, just to make sure you don't end up, by the time you go back to the hairdresser to get your hair done, that you've suddenly taken in 3 more inches into the side. So the same this side, looking through here, allowing that to fall. So just holding the hair, allowing that hair to fall, and putting a clip in. Okay, so it doesn't matter about a few hairs here and there, but as long as there's no major amounts of hair, it's fine. Try and keep your sections clean, because the cleaner they are, the easier it is for the hairdresser to then have to deal with it afterwards. Right, so I've got that. So now, I'm not going to take it in one go, because that's far too frightening. I'm going to take it in several sections. So let's look, see what we can do. Again, I'm clipping that out the way. Now, as I said before, it's all dependent on face shape and what you want to achieve with having a fringe. They kind of say it's Botox or a bang, and one of the things that I'd say is it's always quite good having a soft fringe, whatever. Now, with a face shape, what again you want to try and do is highlight the cheekbones. And my model here has got lovely cheekbones, as you can see. But if you want to emphasize those even more, what you do is just take that slightly back. But again, I'm not telling you to do that at home. I'd rather you go and talk to your hairdresser after we kind of come out of exile and talk through that. Today I'm just going to teach you how to trim your fringe. So I'm taking a first section. Now, instead of cutting across, I'm literally just trimming into the hair. Now, what I'd suggest you do is start off tentatively and not go in there hacking away. What you'll also notice I'm doing is I'm holding it with my comb, and I'm taking more out of the center of the hair, center of the fringe, rather than the side, so that can blend down into the side. I'm going to do the same this side. So pulling it forward, by pulling it forward you create graduation, and that graduation will give you the softness. A little bit more from here. So with my model, she was wearing her hair slightly to one side. So what tends to happen is that the shorter side here, this bit through here, is slightly shorter than here, because that helps that move across. Next section, bring it down. Again, I see a lot of hairdressers lifting up the hair and cutting into here. I'd rather you didn't get into doing any of that. I'd rather you just concentrate on pulling that forward and literally using the ends of your scissors and just cutting those ends. You can see already by doing that, it softens that whole look. Last section. So pulling forward, lifting it up, looking at my previous section that I've cut, not taking it shorter than the previous one. Otherwise you're going to end up with bangs from hell. And then that poor hairdresser is going to have to suffer trying to get them right again. So, if you still find that's too thick and too heavy, what I suggest you do is lift this out and take a few sections directly in the same direction of the hair. The reason I say do that is that you reduce the bulk, but without it going too thin. And what I will also say to do is when you're doing this, do the minimum, wash and blow dry your hair, and then try it again. That's just finishing off there. I'm just going to take these out and comb through. So sight's restored. So that's how you can trim a fringe.